Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I was thinking to myself, as you do, I wonder what the most cards you can draw in Smash Up is, and the more that I thought about it, I realised that if the game goes on for long enough, there are numerous ways that you can infinitely draw. So I thought I'd make it just a little bit trickier. What about if it was the first turn of the game? Now, I'm not saying that this is the only way, or even the best way, this was just the way that I came up with, and that is with Ancient Inca Wizards. This can be done at any player count. The player count doesn't really matter, although the more bases there are, the more likely it is that you'll win the game on the very first turn. Just some housekeeping rules before we get started. While this is possible, it will never happen. Everything is lined up perfectly in this scenario, the right bases are out, we have the right opening hand, we always draw the exact cards that we need. For all of that to happen in real life, I mean, forget Smash Up, buy a lottery ticket. If I ever don't mention specific cards that we've drawn, it's because they aren't important to the scenario, but as I say, assume that we always draw perfectly. So with that out of the way, let's get started. And of course, this involves the notorious Homeworld base. Now, it doesn't matter what other bases are in play, but these two have to be in play. Homeworld lets us play an extra minion of power 2 or less whenever we play a minion on the Homeworld. Machu Picchu lets us draw a card whenever we play a play-on-base action on that base. And our opening hand, we have Sapper Inca, Archmage, Neophyte, Summon, and Time Loop. Just to help you follow as I explain, in the top left you'll see a counter which says which move we're currently on. In the top right there's a little tally of all the important information, so how many extra actions we have, how many cards we've drawn, how many cards are in the discard pile, and how many cards are left in the deck. And then you'll also see a little plus number on some of the cards as we go through. I've kept it to Sapper Inca and Archmage just for the sake of this video. Sapper Inca adds a +1 power counter to a minion on the base where you play a play-on-base action. So are your brains ready? Let's get started. So for the first move we're going to play Sapper Inca onto Machu Picchu and we're going to draw Signs in the Stars from the deck. So we're off the mark, we've drawn a card. Second move we're going to play Time Loop to give us 2 extra actions. Third, we're going to use one of those extra actions to play Summon to play Archmage onto the Homeworld, getting the extra action straight back. Now we're going to use an extra action to play Signs in the Stars on Machu Picchu, drawing a card and adding a power counter to Sapper Inca. We're going to use Signs in the Stars to look at the top card of the base deck and oh no, it's the Dread Gazebo. Well, that's it, the dream's over. That was literally the worst base to have on top of the base deck. But wait, Signs in the Stars has a talent to move the top card of the base deck to the bottom, so it's not over yet, let's use the talent. And wow, what a surprise, it's the Workshop. That is literally the best base we could have hoped for. So we're still on track to make this dream happen. Now we're going to play Neophyte onto the Homeworld as an extra minion play, and the top card of the deck is Winds of Change, so we'll play that as an extra action. We'll shuffle the one remaining card in our hand back into the deck and draw a new hand of 5. Winds of Change gives us an extra action, and because it was played through Neophyte's extra action, that's a net of +1. And would you look at that, we've drawn perfectly from Winds of Change, drawing Golden Condor, Portal, and the 3 remaining Neophytes. Using an extra minion play from the Homeworld, we're going to play another Neophyte hitting Temple of the Sun off the top of the deck, so we'll play that onto Machu Picchu. Now remember, we drew a card from the Neophyte, we drew Temple of the Sun, we drew a card from Machu Picchu, and we draw from Temple of the Sun, so that's 3 cards drawn this turn. Machu Picchu also has Workshop's ability, so every time now we add a play-on-base action to Machu Picchu, we're also going to gain an extra action, because remember that these play-on-base actions we're playing now are being played for free through the Neophyte. Finally, remember that Sapper Inca continues to add power counters. We're going to continue to do this for the next 2 moves, playing the remaining Neophytes to hit both fortress walls off the top of the deck. With the first move we're netting us 3 more cards drawn, an extra action and 2 power counters, and the second move nets us the same but 3 power counters this time for both fortress walls and the Sapper Inca. Now we're going to use one of those extra actions to play Portal, and would you believe it, we've hit 5 minions, the 4 llamas and an Incan Engineer. Now over the next 4 moves we're going to be playing each llama onto the Homeworld and moving the 4 play-on-base actions from Machu Picchu over to the Homeworld. This time we'll start with Temple of the Sun rather than Signs in the Stars. It doesn't really matter, but those 2 actions always want to be the first and second play-on-base action that you play. After these 4 moves we've drawn 4 cards, gained 2 extra actions and added 7 power counters. I've put them all onto the Archmage for the ease of doing the video, but you'll want to spread them out so that you can move minions later with the Royal Highway. Now we're going to play Summon to play Incan Engineer on another base to draw the remaining play-on-base action in the deck. For this example we'll just say the Royal Highway. We're going to play those remaining 3 play-on-base actions down onto the Homeworld to draw 3 more cards, gain a net of 2 extra actions and add 9 more power counters to the minions. And then finally we're going to play Golden Condor to replay all 7 play-on-base actions back onto Machu Picchu. Partway through doing this you'll run out of cards in your deck and you'll need to shuffle those cards in your discard pile, back into your deck and form a new deck, which you'll then also draw a lot of as well. At the end of this turn, you'll have a bank of 12 extra actions and just one card in the discard pile, which is the Golden Condor. Now at this point you can just go infinite, because on the moves where Golden Condor is in your discard pile, you need to use Mystic Studies or Sacrifice to draw back into it. And then when you play Golden Condor, you'll always draw at least 6 cards if you play Temple of the Sun first or second. So if you played any extra summons, then you'll draw back into those as well, and the same for any other standard actions that you decide to play. All the while, Sapper Inca and Fortress Walls are making minions stronger, and then you can use Royal Highway to get a minion on each base, and when you're ready, break every base and win every base in the game. It's simple as that. So wow, did you get all of that? I won't blame you if you need to watch it one more time. As I say, in theory this can happen, but in reality this will never happen. So do you have any turn 1 infinites or wins like this? What did you think of this method? Let me know down in the comments below, and with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.